it's changed from just to hear her say, I feel no pain, I'm okay. That's huge if you know where she's coming from. But if you don't, just remember this. No matter where you've been, what you've done, how far you've gone, how old you are, your health, or anything, or what anybody in this world says, God is still there. And God still loves you.
Amen. Who else? Who else has something to share on that? Because I'm sure, I see a hand back here for just a second. Just a quick thought about what you thought about Miss Alice.
Yeah, soon Alice got baptized. It makes me remember that I got baptized. And it really changed greatly.
You know what? That's important. How many of you thought about your baptism when you saw Miss Alice be baptized tonight? It happens, doesn't it? That one of the beautiful things about that is kind of a washing to kind of just refresh you. I remember my baptism. I remember how special it was. Every one of you got touched. And it was awesome. Pastor, we're all the way through. Is there anyone else had something touch them about? Go ahead, Michael, just quickly, just about Miss Alice.
Well, watching her get baptized, it made me feel really good inside.
Amen.
It just felt like it brought me back to just like right to being getting back into the baptized all over again.
Made it refreshed to you. That's important. Thank you, Michael. See, it's one thing, Brother Paul over here, just one more. The important part is, what am I going to take from what I had to observe? What am I going to get? Because God doesn't just do one thing.
This church is known for God. We have people in this church that have been hit by cars at 70 miles an hour, thrown out of vehicles, not supposed to be here, all kinds of. This is your moment. This is your but God. And we're happy for you.
Okay. So, I want you to hold on to that and remember how special that was. You saw her sharing. Now, children, you're released to go on to your time tonight. We will bring you back in when time for communion. Pastor.
Give the children and the workers a hand clap of praise. So thankful for a living God and a living church. All generations are present. What a great day. What a great attendance for a Sunday evening worship service. Amen? So we're so glad to see. Some of you haven't saw in a while, and back from the holidays and things are moving up. Kennedy, I have to compliment you. Great job. You know, the pastor has to go out of town once in a while to see if he's leaving anything behind. And the worship pastor has to go out of town once in a while to see if she's building anything for God. Everything we do, remember, it's not for ourselves, it's not for our glory, it's for His glory. So if we're not leaving anything behind, that means we're not doing the will of the Lord. But I can see that Pastor Jenny is really building a team of people that's going to serve God for the rest of their lives. Amen? Give the Lord a hand clap of praise. I want to speak to you, I want to speak to you in a little more sensitive way tonight. Sometimes my preaching style is in your face because I believe that God's a powerful God. Tonight I want to start off with at least a compassionate comment, a compassionate theme. The name of my message tonight, I think I want a lecture down here. Can you help me? The name of my message tonight is called That Hurts. That Hurts. And I want to speak to you about hurts tonight. It was evident this morning at the altar call, and in the middle of the altar call, you never know what happens inside here while I'm delivering the Word of God. But when I was on the platform praying for those that had responded, the Lord gave me the message for tonight. I generally my Sunday afternoon message. My Sunday evening message Sunday afternoon. My Sunday morning message is prepared all week long. As the Lord gives that to me sometimes in a few moments. I mean, the preparation takes hours, but the message may come in a few moments. But this afternoon, early afternoon, we were having the altar call. The Lord started speaking to me about this subject of that hurts. So let's speak about that tonight. Here's some of the subjects I wrote down. In this world of bumps and bruises, we can get hurt. In the real condition we are in, that is, of being a human being, sometimes we get hurt. Getting hurt is a personal thing, so it's hard not to take it that way. It feels real because your hurts are real. So what are the answers? Even the medical community struggles with the subject of pain. I'm at the hospitals a lot, and I will always be at the hospitals a lot, as long as I'm caring for people, because that's where the people are. I'm not in the hospital because I love hospitals, I'm in the hospital because I love people. And so I'm in the hospitals a lot, and I see the constant inquiry about pain, about the patient's pain, and where does it hurt, and how much does it hurt? And on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the worst pain you can imagine or the worst pain you've ever had, and 1 being no pain at all, on a scale of 1 to 10, where's your pain? So I ask you tonight, where's your pain level? Where is your hurt level at tonight? You see, I find that people's hurt level is very relative to how well they're doing. Their pain level is to how well that they're processing. Sister Alice says, God has healed me, He's touched me, and I have no pain for the first time in my life. Nobody believed I was hurting, but I was hurting, but now I'm pain-free. And so sometimes it's our hurts. And I wrote some things down here about physical pain and spiritual pain, about emotional pain, about hurts that happen, and they're real because they're ours. It is hard to know the pain that another person is feeling. We all tend to deal with things differently. Sometimes we can hear about somebody's horrible story of pain, and we say, I don't get it. I don't get it. Why does that bother them so much? Why is it a constant reminder? Why the burden? Why the care? Why the pain? That wouldn't bother me, some would say. Other people would say, well, I understand. We don't really understand pain. We all tend to deal with things a little bit differently. In the scheme of things, pain is a personal assessment. We may not know why another person is in pain, and the hospital may not know why that a certain ailment is devastating to an individual, and other people say, just wrap it up with a towel, I'll work the rest of the day. Why is it that when somebody talks bad about another person, that for some people is a devastating blow that causes them emotional sadness for days, weeks, or years, and for other people is a doesn't matter. See, pain is a personal assessment. And how we think about things, how we think about life, is the way we receive our pain sometimes. Some real physical pain, it manifests, when pain manifests in a physical way, it can be life-controlling. It can be devastating. We cannot move in our pain. We cannot function in our pain. We can't think straight in our pain. Physical pain can be immobilizing. So it is with emotional pain. When it manifests, can be completely debilitating. Some people come to the place of emotion where they say, I can't go on. I can't deal with that. Because that pain is real to them. It's a personal assessment. I like to encourage people to say, yes, you can deal with it. Maybe not personally, but with God, all things are possible. With God, all things are possible. Though Sometimes I believe the reason for pain is so we will call out to God. Sometimes I believe that the person who feels invincible goes to the hospital and they can't move, so they have to look up and realize there might be something else besides themselves. Some people are so self-centered that until they're laying flat on their back, they never think that they might disappear someday. But everything that has breath will leave the planet eventually. We're not here forever, and the world is not built around us. We are placed in the world. Amen. Amen. We need to understand that our pain is for a season. It's not meant to be permanent. It is meant to come and serve its purpose. And we think about the physical body, and the physical pain is a warning sign. It is something that comes upon us so we realize there's something to take note of. It's like the warning light that flashes on your car. I knew a lady one time. She had a husband that worked with me. And her husband went and took a phone call from her at work. How many of you know that's not a good day usually? The wife interrupts the employee and says, I've got to talk to him right now. And so they went and found him, and he came to the phone. He happened to be a mechanic, and he took care of the family vehicles. And the message on the phone was just like this. Honey, I just want to tell you there's something bad wrong with the car now. I've been telling you there's something wrong with that car, and those lights on the dash kept flashing on and off all the way to Joplin and back. And it started making noise, and it's home now. But I just want you to know there's something wrong with the car, and you need to fix those lights on the dash because they keep coming on and they're really annoying. Honey, what did the lights say? Oh, check engine, stuff like that. Pain is a warning sign, but it's not meant to be permanent. Unless we ignore the warning sign and don't give it the proper response. Are you with me, somebody? Some people deny their pain until they become unstable. They deny that there's pain in their life until they just one day pack their bags and move out and don't tell their spouse they're leaving. Ignored emotional pain. I didn't know things were getting so bad. Well, you should have known. The doctor should have known how sick I was. Reminds me of a headstone in a cemetery that I saw a picture of. The headstone says, I told him I was sick. Nobody believed me. Real emotional pain, when it manifests, can be completely debilitating. The problem is, what do we do with that pain? I prayed with somebody this morning. I knew the manifestation of her pain was a physical ailment that could be very serious. I instructed her, I believe God is a healer, but she may need to see a doctor if that pain did not go away this afternoon. She with me already? Good. Because I told you I've been in hospitals a lot. And I recognized the potential of where her pain was located. We all tend to deal with things a little bit differently. But how can we put a twist on it that God will honor? In Romans 8:28 through 30, there's a declaration. I'll read it to you in the NIV, and I want to make some comments. In verse 28 it says, and we know. Look at your neighbor and say, we know.
We know.
If we really do know this by the end of the night, we might approach the thing differently. And we know that in all things, God. And we know that in all things, God works for the good of those who love Him and have been called according to His purpose.
Yes.
For those God foreknew, he also predestined to be conformed to the image of his Son. Now, I want to tell you something. If you've had any weird teaching in your life, it's not your fault. It is your fault if you don't get the correction of it. Okay, because you need to research things that sound weird. They don't sound like God. There are some denominations that read this scripture I just read to you and it says, for those that God foreknew, he also predestined. There are some denominations, that's why you can live the way you want to live, and there's no sin, because the teaching is because God has predestined those to be saved, and you don't have any choice in the matter. Either you're predestined to be saved, or you're going to be lost all your life, so you might as well just live it up. Oh, you come to be saved today? Hope you're on the list. Good luck. Isn't that weird? What I'm telling you is, how many people did God foreknow before they were born?
All of us.
Every one. How many babies that are in the mama's womb does God know about tonight? Everyone. How many days past does God know that there's a baby, a person there that's going to be born? How many days in the conception? One day. He foreknew that baby was going to be born, but he knows that baby in the womb on day one. God knows everything. Some people say, those whom he predestined to become. That is the plan that God has for your life. But he knew every one of us. He knows everyone. So he has predestined you to be conformed. Everybody say conformed? To the image of his Son. And that he might, watch this, that he might be the firstborn of many brothers and sisters. So what is Jesus? He's my older brother. He's my friend. He's my God. He's my Savior. You know what? He's everything, isn't he? That's why the song goes, he's my everything. Amen. Are you getting this? You're confused. I'll get that, aren't you? Yeah, all right. We'll talk later. For those God foreknew, he also predestined and to be conformed to the image of his Son, that he might be the firstborn of many brothers and sisters. And those he predestined, he also called. Are you with me, somebody? He also justified. Those he justified, he also glorified. Verse 31. Then shall we say in response to these things, if God is for us, who can be against us? Amen? Now, there's ways to get over your hurts, but it's not by doing nothing. This is an active gospel. It's an active gospel. And you can lean on your hurts. Like I can lean on this and it'll just collapse under me. You can just be hurt, and you can live in your hurt, and you can love your hurt, and you can take it to bed with you, and you can wake up with it in the morning. You can put reminders on the wall of how bad your life is and how much you're hurt. But you're not getting any better, are you? You can tell all your neighbors, you can get on Facebook and blast them. But you're still not any better, are you? No, because none of those things work. Because none of them are ordained by God to work. But you're predestined to be conformed. Everybody say conformed. That's like the potter and the clay. You're conformed into the image of God, into the strength of God, into the dynamics of a Savior who's able to overcome the enemy with a spoken word. And when we use that same word that Jesus used, we have the same power and the same strength and the same authority that Jesus had. Number one, you might write these down if you're taking notes. Never take evil acts personally. This is how we don't get hurt. Our hurts are real. I just said that. I'm not denying that people get hurt, but don't take them personally. If somebody is evil to you, welcome to the club. It's not the person, it's the evil inside them. Evil acts have been on the face of the earth ever since Slewfoot in the garden was there, and he come up to Eve and he says, did God really say? Look at this fruit. Isn't it good to eat? When Eve saw that it was pleasing to the eye, and it was good for food, I wonder where she got that idea. She partook. You see, we can be convinced that evil acts somehow change us. They change the evildoer. They put the evildoer into judgment, not you. Come on, somebody, that's a hand clap of praise right there. You've been thinking that the evil act changed you somehow. Somebody mistreated you and it changed you? No way. It changed them. They're under condemnation of God because they touched the anointed. They touched the one that God saved. They touched the one who believed. They touched the one that God predestined to become the Son of God. They laid hands on the Son of God when they come against you. It is the evildoers that have the problem, not you. We can smile. We can literally say, are you done? Okay, let's have a good day now. Have you ever smiled at somebody while they're chewing you out? Oh, yeah. It messes them up. It messes them up. They don't know what to do with that. They know what to do if you smack them. They know what to do if you spit on them. They know what to do if you yell back at them. They know how to act. They know how to fight. Every human being that's born and has breath and a brain, they know how to fight. Husbands and wives know how to fight. They don't know how to respond to love. Come on, somebody. This is good teaching. The only thing that never fails is love. And the only thing that will never fail for you is love. The only thing that never passes away is God. His love. God is love. Never take evil acts personally. Pray for the evildoer. Somebody treats you wrong, I'm going to pray for you. In Jesus' name. Man, there's something going on with you. Not in a judgmental way, but this is not good. It's the way you're behaving. That's not good. Are you ready, somebody? How do we get over our hurts? First of all, we don't take them personally. I didn't know this. Growing up, I suppose I got hurt as much as any other person. I didn't know that it was evil and I wasn't supposed to respond to it. I'm supposed I had my feelings hurt as much as anybody growing up. I don't know. I was taught it was terrible. You know. Whatever. Get even, shun them, stay away from them, run, hide, whatever you do. But I was never taught that evil hurts itself. It doesn't hurt that person. Now you can get hurt physically, and you need medical care and all that kind of thing, and quite honestly, we still need to pray for that person, because now they've got another offense against them. Number two, after we decide not to take evil acts personally, ask yourself, is that evil? Are they being ugly? Okay, I'm about receiving that. Y'all look at me like you saw those. Ask yourselves, are they being ugly? I haven't said this for a long time, but sometimes people want to tell me their story, and it can happen anywhere. And I'm not talking about church, I'm talking about the world. Yesterday, my dad said this. Satan never even asked to touch his wife. She was a thorn in his flesh. She was a backbiter. You know, maybe a God hater, I don't know. She told him to curse God and die. That was the encouragement his wife gave him. So Satan left her around. Never mind. Let's get back to evil. Job stayed the faith all the way through all of that evil. But if we won't take evil acts personally, ask yourself, is this from God? When somebody's doing evil to you, or you think, is this evil or is it good? It's really usually an easy answer. Are they being evil? Is this naughty or nice? If you're a Santa fan. And we usually know the answer. How often do you receive naughty into your life? How often do you receive ugly in your life? How often do you react to ugly? You're rewarding evil. Come on, somebody. My kids threw a fit, so I went ahead and bought them the toy. Oh, I see it all the time. Just go to the store. I saw another one this week. It's so funny. The brat is in, yeah, the mall Barlow. There's the brat on the floor, screaming, throwing a fit, kicking his heels, and there's a whole crowd of people around him. And we are assured and know that God, being a partner in their labors of all things, work together and are fitting into a plan. Everybody say fitting into a plan. For good. Those that love Him and are called according to His purposes. Now here's another thing. I want to take this up with you tonight because I hear people say it all the time. And it is a good sounding cliche, but I want you to think about the statement. People say, well, when something bad really happens, they'll say, well, you know, everything happens for a reason. When somebody dies, oh, everything happens for a reason. Somebody has a heart attack. Somebody has everything happens for a reason. Well, cholesterol. That's the reason. Blocked arteries. Yep, that's the reason. Drunk driver ran off the road and killed him. Yeah, everything happens for a reason. Listen to me, church. Don't use that cliche like God has said it. Those who He foreknew of to go, that would have really brought me down. But right now, He's thinking, I remember, I'm not going to respond to evil. I'm not going to take it personally. Evil, listen to me, church. Somebody's treating you ugly, mean, or nasty. Pray for the next guy they'll meet. Come on, somebody. Get real with God. You don't have no right to take it personally because they didn't even design it for you. That's the way they live their life. Do you think the thief targeted your house? He's not targeting somebody else's house. Do you think the robber comes just to you? Don't take it personally. You think someone with foul language comes and lets you have it and rips you up? Pray for the next guy. Because they're living that way. It's not an accident that happens. They're living that way. The thief is a thief wherever he goes. The liar is a liar wherever he goes. Until God heals them and sets them free, you're just a victim. You just happen to be in their path. Don't take it personally. Understand that if you'll respond correctly and you won't reward evil, how do we reward evil? By reacting evil. You see, if we react to evil the way that the natural man reacts to evil, we become evil. Come on. That's the whole nature that the enemy wants you to do. He wants you to stay in that nature. He wants you to show that you're still a failure. He wants to show that you still don't know how to walk in the Spirit. And so you react in the natural and you respond with violence. You respond with whatever was given to you, I'll just give it back to them. That's real spiritual, isn't it? That helps a lot of people, doesn't it? No, it separates marriages, it separates families, households, churches, cities, the city commissioners. I like to watch. I can find out people's role a little bit. I go to the commissioner meeting once in a while, and I can tell you which ones are the peacemakers. I won't tell you what else I can tell, but I can always recognize the peacemakers. They're on every committee. Amen? Know that God will mold this hurt into something good. Number 3, hurt has a temporary design. Hurt has a temporary design. Remember, I said that hurt is for a purpose, but it's not permanent. Sometimes we act like hurt is permanent. Now, I want to tell you something. If you're in a car wreck, or you're on a motorcycle and a car crashes into you, and you have a leg amputated at the knee, you've got a permanent loss. Okay? But once you're healed up, you go on with your life. Even without a limb. Even without a limb. Hurt in your heart should not be permanent. Those heart scars are there for a temporary season. And they are not designed to change us into being less than what God has for us to be. They are designed that if we'll respond correctly to God and we'll know that in all things, everybody say in all things, God will work. He works all things together for something good. So hurt is for a temporary design. It's not for permanent residence. Every once in a while I hear somebody bring up hurt. Well, you know who Dr. Phil is? Those kind of talk shows specialize in people that won't do this. They take every evil act personally. You know why we can do that? Because we actually feel them. We feel them. But our reaction to them is either going to mold us into something usable or keep us down. Like it says, it's a temporary design. Number 4, never feed your hurts. Never feed your hurts. Everything you feed is getting bigger. Feed those things that are of God. Don't feed your hurts. I know that we've all probably had a pity party from time to time, but let's make that a prayer party. Let's take that to God. It's going to bring something good out. Okay, God. Now I say this to God once in a while because He backs up His word. I say, okay, God, show me how you're going to bring something good out of this situation. This is what we're experiencing. You know what's going on, God. Show me how this is going to turn around for something good. You know what? God never fails.
That's right.
He never fails.
Amen.
Everything does happen for a purpose, for a reason. There's a reason behind everything. But it's not always God. Planes don't fall out of the sky because God said, I'm going to put a bomb in that plane and blow it up, kill all the people. Come on, church, we're bigger than that. We're smarter than that. We're spiritually more intuitive than that. We're not going to blame God for weird stuff like that. He didn't even build the airplane.
Right.
But God is there to love and to nurture and to help, isn't He?
Amen.
So never feed your hurts. Understand, your hurts need to be healed. They need to be healed. We need to present them to God. There's people all over the world that Sister Alice says that God is healing. Other people today says, God has touched me. God has done something for me. Someone on the phone this afternoon gave me a testimony and said, I've tried all this thing. I've tried all this stuff, but it is God that set me free. It's God that made a difference. He's the only one that's going to make a difference for anybody. It is God who did it for me.
Right.
So where do you think we might take our hurts? God. Now I'll tell you what. I've noticed this too. If you respond to evil with love, you're more likely to get an apology than the other way around. If you respond to evil with more evil, you should respond to evil with avoidance, marking them off as unworthy to be talked to or to be addressed, dehumanize them to where you ignore them. You're not going to get an apology, and you're not even going to get an attaboy from God because you just acted in the natural, not the spiritual. So when we think about our hurts, how we get healed with our hurts is that we actually allow God to work through our life. Worship team, or at least Kennedy and Ray, would you come back a minute? And we're going to transition into communion in a moment, but don't get the children yet because we're not quite ready. The last thing is focus on the works of God. Focus on the works of God, not of the enemy. You see, sometimes when we're thinking about our hurts, we're not getting any better because we're not focusing on what God is doing. We're just focusing on our own situation. We're focusing on maybe what the enemy is doing. We're focusing on the evil that's been done to us. How many times have you heard somebody repeat the same story over and over? A story of hurt, a story of abandonment, a story because it was real, wasn't it? But we didn't bring it to the Lord and say, God, heal me so I can go forward. Heal me so I can forgive. Heal me so my heart doesn't hurt anymore when I think about that subject. Heal me so it's not on my mind. Remove those things that are so hurtful from my mind. We haven't went to the right source. So we'll focus on the works of God. You see, the works of God are found in restoration. They are found in healing. They are found in nurturing. They're not found in the things that the world uses to hurt us. How many of you be honest and say, words really do hurt me? Look around, audience. We can help others around us by guarding our words, can't we? By praying before we would speak to someone valuable to God and somebody valuable to us. You know, the nature of the human vessel is that we get hurt by people that are closest to us. You know why? You can't hear people very far away. You always raise your hand and you said, words can hurt me. The words I hear can hurt me. It's no mystery why people are hurt mostly by the ones that are closest to them. Someone far away doesn't have the ability, doesn't have the access to hurt you. There's no anomaly or abnormality that people would come to church and say, well, I really got hurt in that church. I hear a lot of those stories. You know why you get hurt? Because you have feelings. The teaching tonight is on how do I handle that hurt? How long do I keep it? Do I obey the hurt or do I obey God? The hurt says you'll never be the same. The hurt says if you were worthy, you wouldn't feel this way. The hurt says if you weren't so weak, you would be acting like this. The hurt says you must have, some people would say, they must have done some sin. Like last week's message, the Bible said that the disciples said, Jesus, who sinned? Why is he blind? His parents or him? No sin. You haven't done anything wrong. You've been hurt. You just have feelings. But God says, if you'll allow me, if you'll trust me, if you won't act like something strange thing has happened to you, I'll heal your heart. And you'll be better than you were before. Because you'll realize that you've overcome. What the devil meant for evil, God has turned around for good. You become stronger through it. Amen? Now I'm going to give you a chance to exercise. You stand to your feet. It's time for calisthenics. Our faith has to be exercised. How many of you will be honest right now and say this message about my hurts or that hurt has stirred up some feelings inside you? Because I have hurts too. Anybody? Lots of it. It's natural to be hurt, but it's supernatural to overcome it. To lay it down where it doesn't affect you, the way you walk tomorrow, the way you love others tomorrow, the way you open yourself up to God tonight. So here's the calisthenic part. How many tissues do we have? Okay, stand in that aisle, please. I want every one of you that has a hurt. And maybe you have several of them. Yeah, you stand there. Gina, you're good. You may need one yourself, but you stand on one aisle, I'll stand on the other aisle. If you have a hurt tonight, stand up here, honey. We're going to fill the altar with people. Yeah, one on each corner, maybe that aisle. There's two. I want you to name your hurt. No, you don't have to name it out loud. But I want you to symbolically take a tissue and lay that in the altar. We'll call this the altar of remembrance tonight. And we're going to ask God to bring something good. Pain. In all things, God works for the good. All things. So it doesn't matter what it is. Maybe some of you are hurting because of your own actions. It's the same kind of pain, maybe worse. But God said there's no condemnation to those who are in Christ Jesus. And you don't have to do anything wrong to be hurt. You just have to be alive. And so this is a healing part of our service tonight before we take a music. So they're going to play. If you raise your hand, exercise your faith by coming, taking take a tissue, and then drop it in this altar and release it to the Lord. And then I want you to stand there and ask for God's healing. You're not going to get it through man. I've known people that's had things happen to them, and they've had 100 apologies from their parents or a loved one, but they still hurt. God says, I will be the one to heal your heart. I will give you a new heart. Amen? One per person. Yes. Just lay it in the altar somewhere. And then begin to stand there and pray. Don't leave the altar area. Move to the center or somewhere. We're going to stand here and